Looksmaxxing is one of these things that can be the absolute best thing for you or the absolute worst thing for you. And I want to get deeply into if it's actually a positive thing for your self-view or it's actually a negative thing. And firstly, we're going to speak about the negatives because you see a lot of guys online and they do so many different ways to make themselves look better, whether that's smashing their bones, whether that's them doing crazy shit like getting surgery or doing all this mad stuff I can't even name because there's so many different things that they do to try to look better. They become hyper fixated on their looks, hyper fixated on every single insecurity on themselves, everything that they need to change. Therefore, that's going to be overall a negative thing for them. Because let's say you're hyper fixated on every little insecurity on you. You're a human. You're going to have insecurities. You're going to have things that you're not happy with. You're never going to be 100% perfect. Now, them people will now try to fix that thing that's wrong with them. And sometimes you can't even fix them because it's genetic or it's to do with your bones. So they'll try hammering their face. They'll try doing all these different techniques to sort it out. And it's very sad when you think about it because a lot of these guys are young and they're fucking themselves up for long-term life by doing this stuff. Where there's no science really back behind it, but they've been told online that it works and they've seen people doing before and afters that it works. So they believe that it works when in reality, it probably will cause more damage than positive. Now, you got to think, why are they doing this? Why are they doing this? It's for other people's acceptance and for self-acceptance, of course, as well. Now, some people get too fixated on this route where they want to be too perfect with everything. Too perfect with every little thing about themselves, and it's just never going to happen. You're genetically built a certain way, looks wise. Your face, you can't really do too much other than get leaner and let's say build your jaw up and cut your hair and maybe cut your eyebrows. Stuff like that. Moisturize, wash your face and make sure your skin's clear. There's certain things that you can't necessarily do too much about. Of course, you can reshape your jaw a little bit by mewing and doing different jaw exercises. But there's a lot of stuff you can't control. And you gotta not become hyper fixated on all this stuff because I've seen so many guys get down this path of being fixated on all this stuff. And what happens? They become deeply insecure and they can't get out of the house. They can't get out of the house because they're thinking, this person's going to view that one little insecurity in me. My eye is not shaped like this, or my cheekbone isn't popping out at this angle. They're going to view themselves like that. Therefore, how are they going to leave the house and have confidence? And not. And this is why I say there's an extreme negative side to it all. Trying to be lean and ripped all the time. A lot of people it's not going to be possible for. A lot of people are not going to be sub 10%, sub 12%, let's say. Actually, 12% body fat all year round. A lot of people aren't. It's not natural for a lot of people to do that. It's not in their best interest to do that. They're hungry. They're ravenous. They want to eat loads of food. It's not the way they are. Now, you need to understand that it's not always going to have to be you being perfect. It's never going to be you being perfect. If your diet's on point all the time, what kind of life is that? Overall, now, for periods of time, that's going to be quite good, but are you going to let yourself go? Are you going to enjoy your life? You're probably not going to enjoy your life as much as some people that you see. Now, there's a balance between it all. That's what it comes down to in life in general, doesn't it? There's a life and there's a balance in between everything. It all balances out in a weird way. Now, let's speak about the positive sides. If you don't become hyper fixated on everything, so let's say, for example, you just take care of what you can. You try to get in good shape. You try to get fairly lean with some muscle. That's good enough. In between that 12 to 14% body fat range, a lot of people can stick around 14, 15% body fat. A lot of people can stick around there and not be too ravenous. It's when you get nearer to 10% and below there and around that range where it's really hard to stick around that percentage. You stick around there. You make sure you take care of your skin, your hair, your body. You dress well. You don't over fixate on everything, but you just do the best that you can with your physique, with your body, with yourself, with your clothing. You do the best you can. That's where it can change your life. When you're not too hyper fixated, you gotta become almost differentiated from that. That's what I do. There's a lot of stuff I can't control. Some days I'll go out and I look a bit shit. I think it is what it is. It's life, man. You're never going to always be perfect. When you hold yourself in a way and you got yourself looking good, presentable, and you're actually proud in your appearance, that's when it's good. That's when you know it's going to be good. And you will absolutely change your life by Looksmaxxing and all this stuff, because my life has absolutely changed from this stuff. I was an insecure fat kid who hated himself. Now I'm confident, grateful in myself. How much of a difference is that? And I get compliments often on my appearance, which is such a beautiful thing. But I started from a perspective where I hated myself and I was fat and I was made fun of every day. So you got to think the different drastic ways that it changes. It's just not becoming hyper fixated on certain areas of yourself. You gotta understand that there's so much you can't change about yourself. And these guys try to change it. That's the difference. You hear online a lot, like there's a lot you can't change, and people don't bother to change it because you can't. In reality, it's normally just your weight, your hair, your skin, and maybe a little bit of jaw exercises, neck exercises you can change more so your leanness. But these guys try to change everything. Don't be doing that. Don't be doing that at all. It will absolutely change your life if you do it in the right way. A way where you're not too hyperfixated on everything. Understand you are human. Understand there is insecurities. There's things you're not going to be able to sort out. But just do the best that you can. Make yourself as presentable as you can. Make yourself look the best that you can without all these wacky, stupid methods.